Welcome back, guys, to Factorio Meiosis. This is episode number 42. Today, we are going to make a cell, which is going to depend on this cell. It's not really a cell. It's the oil refining area. We're going to make a cell which is going to make solid fuel. And then we're going to immediately turn around and turn that solid fuel into rocket fuel. One of the first thing we're building that is required to launch rockets. Okay, so I asked for some feedback last episode on making this better, and the prevailing comment I saw is to get rid of the pumps and to split up this system so that you only have 2 to 4 of these assemblers, each going into one of these tanks. All these tanks operate in a network. They're all sharing their volumes between each other. They automatically level out until they reach a equal status. So I think eventually I'm going to do that. I won't need to rebuild this for a while because it's going to keep up pretty good. But I understand that the idea that the pumps are actually the bottleneck here because I have so many of these in a row. Eventually we will do that. We will make this better. But for now it's fine. One thing we do need, we definitely 100% need pumps like this here to push the water down. And I know that because before I added them, there was no water down here. And these guys down on the end were not even... They weren't operating because they were not getting enough water. Okay, so solid fuel is really simple, and we're going to be using... I talked about this previously. This is not the most efficient oil type to make solid fuel from, but it's just simpler to crack all of our heavy oil into light and light oil into petroleum, and to only use petroleum if we want to just have massive amounts of stuff. I know you can make these complicated... like circuit network stuff where it'll switch back and forth. I don't want to do that. I want to brute force it, all right? So we're going to brute force it. So here's the train stop for our solid fuel cell. I've already got the belt hooked up to bring the solid fuel over from our pre-existing supply. Once that is out, we'll start making it here. And we're going to bring our solid fuel over with this blueprint right here, which gives you a lot of throughput per pipe. If you have to take a fluid or whatever is going through the pipes, I guess this is a gas, technically. If you have to move anything a long distance through a pipe, you want something like that. And then you just connect them up as far as they can go. And we're going to use that blueprint to directly give the petroleum gas to these chemical plants. So they will off-put onto a belt, but we want the belts to hook up to our train station. So we'll have 2 belts. Let's get rid of these guys. The belt from the top section is going to come down like this. And let's get rid of this for now. Just get that out of the way. This belt's going to come through here, and we will need a belt balancer. Where are my... Oh, it's here, right. This is my balancer. Blueprint book. Will be like that. Then chemical plants... will be like that, so we'll move this thing over a bit. But then we need to see how the beacons will line up. So the beacons is going to get in the way of the balancer is getting in the way of the beacon. So we'll have to shift this over. Okay. So it looks like that's as far over as we can get. Put a bunch of beacons. Boink, 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 boink. So let's delete this, pick it up. And then we'll lay down, I don't know exactly how many of these we could support. We will play it by ear. We'll tell them all to make solid fuel. We're not even going to be using it for a while. I mean, we'll give it a brief test run, but it won't get used for real for quite some time. Let's just say 8 on each side for now. And we'll spool it up. Or I guess it depends really on how the blueprint tiles based on probably the substations, I would say. Is usually what determines... no, that one we do want there. That's usually how I determine how big I make a blueprint and how it tiles. It's usually the substation. Okay, so these guys are going to be like this. Then we'll need a belt coming out like that. And we will need... let's see, where did I put it? Here it is. It's in my belt balancer book. Belt balancer blueprint book. Okay, like that. And then I'll have to add a few more belts. But each of these guys is going to supply 2 of the chemical plants. Can we make it do 3? Yeah, we can. Okay. with just 2. So what I was going to do, by the way, I need to put a belt here, or a pipe here, to connect up to this guy. But what we can do, I think... Let me find the right thing to... Okay, yeah, we can have these supply 3 each. I guess this will affect the tileability of these things more than the substations, probably. So it'll be something like that. There we go. Okay, and then... Let's see, chemical plants along the top. Direct mirror to what we just made. Go like that. Then they will need a belt. Outputting. Then we'll need beacons. So let's start the beacons on the right side. Line them up with this one. Like that. Okay, that one hits this guy. So these are all going to need modules. I don't know if I... Yeah, I definitely don't have enough speed modules for this. Maybe they're in the car. I guess we can go check. But we're going to have productivity there. And speed here. No, I did have enough. Okay, look at that. Jolly good. So I had to wait around a little while for one of our trains to fill up with oil barrels to come back and drop them off. We're out of oil. It's not a huge deal because I have so much solid fuel banked up. It's not an immediate emergency, but we will need to set up those oil outposts, the new ones, relatively soonish, I guess, as soon as we need them within the next few episodes. Okay, here comes these guys. Good. Okay, so we should be getting some petroleum gas. And I set up the storage here so that we could split off the petroleum to the left and to the right. So that should be fine for a while until we need to expand our refinery to the left more once we cap out our production. And I also took off this little belt. So at current, it's only sending it to the left. And let's just make sure we don't have a lot coming through. So we're probably not going to cap out our oil production just yet. Why are... Let's see, the ones on the... Here, you know what we should probably be doing? Is all of these chests should be getting split. Like, combined and then sent their merry way. Yeah, I see a flaw there because all of the robots just, I guess, decided to put all of the barrels in these bottom chests. And so they all got sent here to the bottom. I'll have to fix that later. But let's see. We've got some petroleum gas there. And it should be sending in here. I think I cut off the supply here, so it should just be filling up the pipes and then stopping. Yeah, this right here. Okay, so they are starting to fill up, but let's go ahead and just let them have some fun. There we go, solid fuel. Ba-bam, getting made. So we are not too far off. Well, it's already filled up. It's already backed up. We're not too far off from compressing half of a belt. And we combine them, we're getting a little bit less than one full compressed belt once we combine the sides. So as I add more of these to the left, what we'll have to do is do a little balancing halfway down. But for now, we're just going to use this. We're going to use the ones that I've been collecting forever. Oh, by the way, I don't think I really explained how these work. This is a train stacker. So trains, when you give them a stop to go to, they try to get there on the rail lines, and then they negotiate. Where is... Oh, it's on my bar. They negotiate their way using the train signals. The train signals break up the rail into chunks, into what are they called? Rail signal blocks. They break it into blocks. And the signal says, okay, from here to the next signal, there's a train in the way, so it's red, can't go there. This signal is green up here because the next signal is empty. So we place a guy here. This is going to turn red. This is a chain signal, and the chain signals read the next signal and copy what it says. All this is fairly common knowledge for most of you, but I get a lot of comments about people being confused about trains, so I just want to explain it real quick. So the chain signal reads the next signal down and copies the signal. So because there is a train in this block here, this block is getting turned red as well. But this is a little bit different. So if I put a... keep forgetting they're on my bar. If I put a train here, then this signal reads that the block is full. It goes red, but this signal turned blue. So a chain signal, if you split the line and you give it a variety of signals to pick from, this all counts as one block, by the way, this tree looking structure. If it sees that they're all green, it'll copy the signal. Oopsie daisy. If it sees that they're all red, it will copy that signal. There, it turned red. But if any of them are open, it'll turn blue, and it'll let a train come in. So basically, what this does, because I'm going to eventually need probably at least 2 trains, maybe 3, maybe even more. So let's just plan for the future. What this does, if there's 2 trains waiting in line to pick up solid fuel, it'll put 1 train in one of these slots, probably the middle one because it's the shortest. And then the next time a train comes through here, trying to get to that stop, it's going to see a blue signal. It's just going to pick one of these. And so what you can have is a bunch of trains stacked up parallel, and it doesn't take much space. It doesn't look quite as cool as having these big squiggly guys, which I do think are more fun. But this is more efficient. Not as fun, more efficient. All right, so after thinking about it, I decided we could squeeze in the rocket fuel cell right here, right next to the solid fuel cell, and I decided to bring it in with a train, even though it's right next door, just, I guess, in the spirit of the theme of the series. I think I've broken that rule before. I know I have, actually. But this instance, I decided to bring it in a train. I need to line up this. This is going to be, because I might need to expand to the right when we add more stuff. So let's go to the left. Okay, so that's going to be the bottom level of my thing. I could move that pipe, but it's easier to just work within the space that's already here. That's enough space to produce the rocket fuel. Solid fuel is going to get picked up here, brought all the way down around this corner, through this diagonal stacker that I had to make, because that's just how much room. Oh, I never plugged this back in. Let's plug this back in. Let's see, I think it would have been something like... Oops. There. Okay, lovely. Back to work. Iron, I guess that's the electronic circuit cell, the big one. The super duper uber mega cell. So that's going to come here. Then we'll have, let's see, we'll need a belt. We're going to sandwich these assemblers in, that's not an assembler. We're going to sandwich the assemblers in between beacons. Bacon, right? No. There. And then a belt. So this belt here will be bringing in the solid fuel. This belt here will be taking out the rocket fuel, and then we'll have a belt balancer there. I just want to get the spacing right. This is, I guess, kind of similar with what I did down here with electronic circuits, where we sandwich the assemblers in between. This is the goal here really is to speed these up as much as possible. So that's why we're sandwiching them in between these beacons, because rocket fuel, it only takes 10 solid fuel, but it takes 30 seconds. So we really want to speed that up a lot. Okay, so that's going to be approximately the size. These guys will get productivity, and these guys will get speed. These guys are making rocket science. But the main thing I wanted to do this first for is so we could see like exactly how much space we need. So if this guy is dropping off solid fuel, I guess we could combine them and lead them up this way. Let's just use all the space we have. That, okay, won't fit there. That's how much space we have. And then this one, we'll go like that. Yep, they'll lead out. The other ones, we'll figure that out when we get to it. Okay, so something like that. Oh, this is the wrong station. These are both loading stations. We need to swap this one out. Oops. And Alakazam, waving my hands. It's done. It's all laid out. Okay, great. Let's put down a train, set it up, make sure it works. Now, since I have all that solid fuel, some of this we won't really be able to test thoroughly until A, we hook up our new oil patches, and B, we use up all of our solid fuel we already have. So that means that's not going to be until we're actually launching rockets. So we have other things to build. So let's move on. Let's just get this up and running and then move on to other things. This is going to be the solid fuel train. So what's he carrying? He's carrying something that's kind of gray, kind of dark gray. Dark gray? Doesn't have to be exactly, right? I got a lot of gray trains, iron trains. Plastic is kind of like a bright gray, aka white. Steel, that's kind of gray. Oil, a lot of gray stuff. I made the oil kind of greenish. Anyway, okay, let's give you, what are you going to have? You're going to have solid fuel. It's magical. Magic new fuel. And we want you to go to solid fuel. Man, this menu, why is it so small? Why doesn't it pop down at least to the size of the train menu? There's probably a small quality of life mod that changes that. Solid fuel cell. Okay, go there for like 30 seconds. And then come to, what's this cell called? Rocket R. Okay, rocket fuel. Solid fuel. Okay, there we go. And we want you to go until you're, stay there until your inventory is empty, like we've been doing before. See, is this set up right? Go to solid fuel, pick up solid fuel, rocket fuel, then go to rocket fuel, solid fuel, and wait until you're, yeah, okay, good. Off you go. On your long journey, a 5-year journey deep into the stars, into the stellar expanse. Next door. Pick up some solid fuel. And then come back. Hooray. So as this gets longer, we'll add like a little balancer guy, by the way. I think I mentioned this, but I didn't exactly explain what I meant. So what we'll do, the belt will be coming in like this, and we'll just have it do that to put the items from the left half on the other side of the belt. Eventually, we'll have to do that down here as well. He should be taking off soon. He should probably already close to full. He's full. I could put a condition there, wait 30 seconds or until full. That could be an interesting condition to set. Could be useful, although maybe not that necessary, really, in the greater scheme of things. We've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trains delivering solid fuel, although we're not going to need that many. You are, I'm sure, going to empty out. Okay, here comes all of the lovely solid fuel. Let's make sure we set it up correctly. And I'm curious to see how fast this is. This is getting increased. Oh, I didn't put modules in the beginning. Oh, we can see a comparison. I did it on purpose. Okay, so this is only with one beacon, providing speed upgrades. I wish it would give, instead of... So it says crafting speed 3 plus 140%. The solid fuel takes 30 seconds. I wish it would say crafting speed 3. That does not mean it's getting made in 3 seconds. I wish it would just say the amount of seconds, so we don't have to get out our calculators and figure out in what order we combine the multiplications. Now it's getting... See, the crafting speed went up, so the higher number means faster. So now it's getting increased 340%. Okay, noticeably faster. 340%. I'm just going to do an eyeball math. It's like 30 seconds. That's getting changed to... oh, that's the wrong one. Rocket fuel. That's getting changed. It's getting made like every 8 seconds. Something like that. Okay, lovely. Here's our rocket fuel. Coming down this line. Getting loaded onto a future train, which will be going to a rocket silo cell to launch the rockets. Eventually. We're getting there. We are really getting there. Next, or soon, we have to do low-density structures, rocket control units, and satellites. And then we can make a rocket silo cell. Awesome. Here's the base. Bam! Getting pretty full. I don't even know where we're going to put the rocket silo cell. We'll have to figure that out together. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.